Ahoy! Welcome back. My name is Melany. So, Minecraft. Yeah, I'm gonna just assume that if you're watching this, you're at least a little familiar with Minecraft as a game in the sense that you've played it before in some capacity. Whether you started playing Minecraft back in 2009 or just 6 hours ago, most of us have played Minecraft in some capacity. Minecraft, as of writing this, is the #1 best-selling video game of all time at a whopping 300 million copies. For reference, the second best-selling game of all time, Grand Theft Auto 5, is just 200 million copies. And Tetris, which for decades was considered the best-selling game of all time, is only number 3 at 100 million. Yes, only 100 million. I'm sure when I say Minecraft as a game, most of us think about what is now referred to as Minecraft Java Edition, as it's considered the most popular version of the game on YouTube. Or you may think of what is now considered the standard Minecraft, nicknamed Bedrock, which is overall the most popular version. But, there was a lot that led up to that. In the 15 years that Minecraft's been around, God, I feel old, Minecraft has been ported to so many devices. Some popular, some less popular, and some that are just plain weird. So in this video, I'm going to take a look back on damn near every port of the game. If I missed any, let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure that I've covered all of them in this video. Let's begin. So the very first ever ported edition of Minecraft to be put in development was the Mobile Pocket Edition. The game was revealed on the official Minecraft YouTube channel, but then was later shown on the E3 2011 show floor, showcasing a demo running on the Sony Xperia Play smartphone. For those unaware, the Xperia Play smartphone was a smartphone made by Sony, meant to be a successor to the PSP and PSV Go, but now as a smartphone. The demo showcased what was a very basic version of Minecraft, being locked in creative mode and only being able to build, but the game eventually finally released in the summer of 2011. I don't own an Xperia Play, nor do I have the means to actually play this version sadly, but from what I can gather, this seems like a pretty decent demake of the game on a 2011 Android smartphone. Because that's what this was, a demake. But this did at the very least keep the core of what makes Minecraft special intact. This version also supported a local multiplayer mode, which is really cool honestly. Multiplayer on Java Edition has always been a headache and a half to set up, so an easy local multiplayer mode is really commendable. It was still very limited though. Only 36 blocks were in the game, stuck in creative mode, and at the time, the game was still an exclusive to the Sony Ericsson Xperia Play. However, over the years, this alpha version of the game kept getting consistent updates to bring it more and more up to date. In October of 2011, Minecraft PE was rolled out to non-Xperia Play devices on Android, and in November of 2011, there was an iOS release. But this version was still a very limited version of the game. At the time of the iOS version's release, there was still only 36 blocks, still in creative mode. Only 3 hotbar slots were available, despite the demo in Xperia 0.1 version having a full 9 slots. Also, no crafting. A game called Minecraft without crafting. As a result, survival mode was effectively worthless at this point without a crafting feature. Well, over time the game kept at it for developments and updates. This is the 0.2.1 alpha running on the iPhone 5. By this point, survival mode was actually added into the game, alongside being able to have custom world generation seeds as an input. Getting into the world, mobs actually spawn in the game now. A daylight cycle is also in this version, alongside other additions like creative mode flight, tools, doors, and auto jump feature, alongside other features. This version was still extremely gimped, but progress was being made. Alternatively, there was Minecraft PE Lite for those unwilling to pay for Minecraft PE. Certain blocks aren't allowed to be used in this version, but it effectively was the same idea. Jumping up a bit, here's version 0.7.0, which really is where Pocket Edition starts to resemble a more fully featured version of Minecraft. This time, we have 6 hotbar slots available, and this version is a lot more similar to actual Minecraft. Some concessions are still being made. For example, the Nether couldn't be fully accomplished on mobile yet, so they instead added something called the Nether Reactor, so you can kind of replicate the Nether in PE. Also in this version, we're introduced to Minecraft Realms. This would later be a feature in all current versions of Minecraft, but it's interesting to see it get start as a beta feature in PE. Pocket Edition would end up spending about 5 years in the alpha stage of development, from initial release in 2011 all the way up until late 2016. But slowly the game was starting to take shape into a normal seeming version of Minecraft. Sure, it wasn't at all up to date with the Java edition, but they would seemingly test out a few ideas in Pocket Edition before implementing them in the main version. Things like beetroots or the stonecutter. By the end of 2016, Pocket Edition's Ender update released, finally bringing the game out of its alpha stage, and unleashing the full release of the game as a solid but slightly gimped version of Minecraft. That is, until it would finally grow into something more. But alas, we'll get to that later. The second port of the game was revealed at Minecon 2011 and released in May 2012, released digitally as an Xbox Live Arcade game on Xbox 360, though later on it was released physically in 2013. This version of the game was developed by 4J Studios. Looking at their previous work, they seem responsible for doing other ports of other popular games. Like, for example, they did the port job for XBLA versions of Banjo-Kazooie and Perfect Dark. They also worked on the PS3 port of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and they also did some work for some Star Trek games. Their main thing seems to have been just port jobs. This is a pared down port. At launch, the game didn't even have really simple things like stone bricks or even a hunger system, and the console ports were always infamous for being several updates behind the PC Java version. However, it's quite a charming port, all things being considered. So for starters, the game comes with a tutorial world to get you started. This feels kinda strange to me in the sense of I'm wondering why Java didn't or doesn't have this. It's a really nice thing to have here. It's a charming little starter world to teach you a little bit of the game's mechanics and to help you learn a lot about the world of Minecraft. Given how so many Minecraft fans started out playing this very version of the game, this is a fantastic addition to the game in my opinion. With each update too, they'd add more and more to this world. Like, here's what the first tutorial world looked like compared to the final iteration. Wow. I will say, after a while these tutorial worlds got a bit bloated. Instead of trying to teach the player the basics, it felt like these worlds were trying to teach players everything. There's also these pop-up tutorial windows, which, on one hand, it's nice to see it's there to teach players new aspects of the game. But on the other, wow, it's annoying. Pages of text to read about a really simple thing at any given time. Thankfully, this can be turned off. A lot about this port feels very newcomer friendly. The crafting system, for example, has been entirely overhauled. Whereas on Java Edition at the time, there was no way to know a crafting recipe other than to Google it and figure out how many items you need and in what pattern. The 4J Studios port will just literally tell you everything you need. I will admit that it's good that they made the crafting system in a way that they're not stopping you every 5 minutes for a Google search. Another quirk to this port was the world generation. At the time in Minecraft, the worlds were functionally infinite. I mean, there's been world borders for a long time, but you'd have to be absolutely insane to reach them without commands. In this version of the game, worlds are limited in size, 864 by 864 blocks. I understand that the Xbox 360 isn't a powerhouse, and probably couldn't handle an infinite world, but a mere 864 blocks is way too small. I could totally see how in an SMP world with friends, you just flat out run out of room after a year or so. Also means that when generating a new world, you better pray to God that you get a solid seed. Because whatever generates in your world is what generates, and you can't go out looking for more stuff once you've inevitably explored the whole world. Later on, they added a feature called Find Balanced Seed to help alleviate this by searching for seeds with the biomes and structures you may desire upon making a new world. But I feel like we still needed far larger world sizes by this point. Something else that was added to this game in this version was DLC. Normally I wouldn't applaud this at all. However, the way they go about it is pretty solid in my eyes. So you couldn't do custom skins in this version of the game. It's a bummer, but I sorta get it. Like, one, how on earth would you get that skin file into your game? And two, I can see how a company like Nintendo could get mad if people are running out with custom Mario skins at Minecraft Xbox 360. So, you could buy special skin packs for around $3. These skin packs were really cool, as some of them would be mobs or characters from Minecraft or custom characters, or skins to match a certain role or job, or they'd sometimes even be licensed characters from other games. I get it. It sucks to have to pay for skins when they're free on PC, but at least at the time, I think this was totally fair. Honestly, even now, I really think this was fine, as these skin packs would offer something that the Java port couldn't. Skin packs that would extend beyond the player model. This was something really cool. The DLC stuff got even better in my eyes. You were also able to buy texture packs for your game. You also had the opportunity to try these packs out before buying them, with the catch being you can't save your game with the texture pack enabled. Then the best of all, mashup packs. These were usually branded under a specific license like Halo or Fallout. For $6, you'd get a themed texture pack, skin pack, and a themed custom world based upon whatever theme. And again, the prices were really solid. $6 usually. Another notable thing regarding this was the online multiplayer. Multiplayer on Java Edition totally existed even back then, but it's always been kinda weird on Java. To play with friends online on Java Edition, you need to go through the long, painful process of setting up a Minecraft server or paying a third party to run one for you. This was long before Minecraft Realms, which is where you'd pay Mojang to run the server for you essentially. On Xbox, you only need to be friends with people on Xbox Live and have an Xbox Live Gold subscription, and you'll be able to just play online. I understand they're still doing a paywall for multiplayer, however, chances are if you owned an Xbox 360 back in the day, you had that subscription and you were using it for online gaming aside from Minecraft like Call of Duty or Halo. There was also a split screen multiplayer option too for local multiplayer. This only required multiple controllers and an HD TV, which was pretty much most people playing at the time. It's easy to forget, but the Xbox 360 released in 2005, when it was still more than common for people to own CRT TVs and to be playing Xbox on them. Anyways, later on they even added minigames to the online multiplayer, I guess to compete with the abundance of Java Edition minigame servers. I can't play them here on Xbox due to the servers being down, but I have some footage of a different port of the game we'll discuss later, and they were really solid for the most part. The controls for this port, on the other hand, are a bit jank in my opinion, at least to me who's played the Java Edition her whole life, ever since discovering the game. It's not bad at all, but it feels totally sluggish and stiff. Increasing the controller sensitivity barely even helps. I'll admit, a lot of this has to do with the fact I'm so used to keyboard and mouse for Minecraft that playing it with anything but that just feels wrong, but I stand by this, just not being totally ideal. It's fine for more casual events of the game like farming, but when it gets more intense, that's when it starts to suck more. Back to the positives, the game's performance is really solid. The game runs at a 60 FPS frame rate rather consistently, and the resolution of 1080p is quite impressive, especially considering the game would have an up to 10 chunk render distance, which is really impressive for the hardware. Speaking of the graphical fidelity, an iconic aspect of the console edition is that the game featured super desaturated graphics by default. You could increase this in settings, but most players didn't. I really didn't like this desaturated look the game had when I was a child, but as an adult, I find it to be quite charming. The same could be said for the entirety of this port of the game. It's very, very charming. While this definitely wasn't the definitive port of the game, even back in its heyday, this port was masterfully well done. This wasn't just a port job, this was built from the ground up with consoles in mind. Honestly, this game really succeeded in adapting the game of Minecraft for a console audience, rather than just recompiling the game for a different platform. This version of the game holds a lot of importance to the audience that initially grew up on it. The tutorial worlds, DLC, easy multiplayer, solid performance. There was a good reason this version of the game was so well loved by players at the time and even now. This version of the game was released in 2012 and got consistent updates all the way up until 2019, where the game got its final update, the Aquatic update, before being completely discontinued in favor of, at the time, new Bedrock Edition, which, oh boy, we'll get to later. For what it's worth, I think this had a really solid run, serving as the main version of the game for many, growing up and living and breathing this version of the game. In no way was this ever superior to Java Edition at the time, but this came pretty close in most cases. The Xbox 360 version of the game did really, really well, bringing new eyes and light to the game. Naturally, they wanted to keep this ball rolling. So in late 2013, this version of Minecraft was ported to PlayStation 3 digitally and physically in mid-2014. I won't go into as much detail with this version of the game, as this was just a port of the Xbox 360 version of the game, and there isn't much in the way of exclusive features to this one, and I don't even own a PS3 personally. Other than exclusive mashup packs relating to Sony IP, there was really one major exclusive feature of this version, but more on that later. Okay, so this is where it gets a little funky. So with the rise of the upcoming 8th gen consoles, Minecraft was announced to be coming to the PS4 edition in June 2014 for release around the launch of the PS4 itself. However, Mojang was going through some changes around this time. Creator of Minecraft and head of Mojang at the time, MelanyMiku, sold Mojang to Microsoft in September 2014 for $2.5 billion. At the time, it was a little uncertain if Minecraft was going to be coming to the PS4, as Microsoft, being the company making Xbox, may have been interested in making Minecraft an exclusive to Xbox platforms to help boost sales. The Xbox One at the time was flopping hard in the eyes of gamers, many straight up no longer trusting the platform after an abysmal E3 show. And this is even after Microsoft walked back most of their anti-consumer practices. Making Minecraft an exclusive to the Xbox One platform could have worked to boost sales and sell a couple million more units. In the end though, I think Microsoft saw the value in keeping Minecraft multi-platform. I mean sure, making Minecraft an Xbox exclusive would have probably led to the Xbox One selling a little better, but keeping Minecraft as the multi-platform game we know it as now allowed for the game to grow into the absolute juggernaut of a game we know it as now. And so, on September 4th, 2014, the game released on PlayStation 4. I know this game came out around the time the deal went through, but the deal was being worked on while the game was in development, and it was more than possible for Microsoft to stop the game's port to competing platforms. Anyways, the PS4 version was once again heavily based upon pre-existing ports of the game. However, with this being the PlayStation 4 and it being the, at the time, next-gen version, this port comes with the addition of larger world sizes. Instead of previous ports having severely limited world sizes, in this version, you can have worlds up to 5,120 blocks by 5,120 blocks. Talk about an upgrade. While you can still run out of room in this version, that was much more unlikely than the previous versions. Not to mention, the game just ran and looked better too. Had support for higher render distances, amplified world options, and even supported the DualShock 4's touchpad. And for reasons I'll get into later, this version of the game received updates for longer than any other legacy version, all the way up to the Village and Pillage 1.14 update in 2019. In my opinion, this was the absolute best version of Legacy Console Edition, alongside exactly one day after release of Minecraft PS4 Edition, Minecraft released for the Xbox One. This is literally an exact port of the PS4 Edition, just on Xbox One. Everything else about this port was pretty much the same as the PS4 port. There were features including transferring your worlds from the 360 to the Xbox One, but again, that's about it. The game kept getting consistent updates until the World of Color update, where afterwards, it was upgraded to the Bedrock Edition of the game, which, again, we'll get to later. This is a really cool one. Minecraft for PlayStation Vita. This was a port of the PS3/Xbox 360 versions of the game for the Sony PlayStation Vita handheld. Think about that. A version of the console port of the game running on a handheld. Keep in mind, by this time we were still stuck using the crappy gimped alpha versions of Minecraft Pocket Edition. This was the big boy console version, running on a handheld. Sure, it wasn't as fully featured as the Java PC version, but it was good enough at the time to be absolutely mind-blowing. This was, without question, the single best portable version of the game out at the time. The game launched in October 2014 and was, weirdly enough, a digital-only title. There was a physical version with a download code released in America, and in Japan there was a release with an actual cart, but not in America, which is kind of weird. Anyways, this version of the game also came with an exclusive special edition PS Vita in Japan only. I actually bought this a while ago for this very video, seeing as I didn't own a PS Vita yet. Sadly though, this Vita sticks had awful stick drift, and I ended up needing to return it to the seller, which is really unfortunate. I really like the look of the system. I did get a chance to play a decent bit of it, and it's really, really slick. Other cool things regarding this version of the game was the cross-buy initiative between PS Vita and PS3. Basically, buy the game for one platform and you'll get it for another. Additionally, you can transfer your worlds back and forth from PS3 and Vita. This was so cool. You could play all of the Minecraft in the world you want on your PlayStation 3, and when it came time to go somewhere, transfer the world and keep playing on the go. There were some drawbacks to this port. This wasn't the most optimized version and had some frame rate issues. Nothing terrible or unplayable, but kind of annoying. Nothing like we'll see later in this video though. Oh my. Also, while this version did have online multiplayer, it's limited to only being between 4 players, and not the full 8 on other platforms. Otherwise, this was a really cool port of the game, and I'm so happy this was made for the novelty of it alone. Oh god. Minecraft Wii U Edition. This had potential. While the Wii U was an utter flop of a game system, the idea of having Minecraft on Wii U was a popular one. With the gamepad, you could have your inventory on the bottom screen, and the game on the TV. That would be a great use of the platform's controller. Well, Minecraft Wii U was announced in late 2015, which was a big moment for Nintendo. Nintendo was struggling this generation, so one of the best-selling games of all time releasing for the platform was big for them. How could they mess this up? I'll tell you how. No exclusive gameplay additions to Minecraft for Wii U. The game launched without the dreamed of item management on the gamepad for isometric multiplayer like many had hoped. Instead, this port of the game was almost entirely just a port of the Xbox 360 and PS3 version of the game running on Wii U. Not even the newer versions with larger worlds. I mean, I suppose the larger world thing is understandable to be excluded from this version, given the fact that the power of the Wii U was only about the same level as the Xbox 360, but it still feels stupid for a Wii U game release in 2015. There are very minor touchscreen uses in the game. They're very much shoehorned into the game without much thought as a secondary input method. This had so much potential, but just ends up feeling utterly pointless. I grew up playing this version of the game every so often and would occasionally play split screen with friends, but even back then, I was underwhelmed and came running back to the Java edition of the game. Later on, they updated the Wii U edition to come with an exclusive Mario Mashup pack, which is honestly pretty cute to see as a little bonus for playing on the Nintendo platforms. But otherwise, this was a letdown. It's not the end of the world, but this was a total rush job, and it's really hard to ignore that. So, around now is where something dreadful began. Minecraft Windows 10 Edition. What was this? A port of Minecraft Pocket Edition as a Windows 10 app. This was a very strange release. The game was given out for free to players who already owned a copy of Minecraft Java Edition, but this was literally just a port of a pared down mobile release of the game. Eventually, crossplay between mobile and Windows 10 was added, but at the time, this was a very confusing release. But unfortunately, it was all going to make sense soon enough. Oh god. I'm not sure where else to talk about these ports of the game, but I feel like I should mention them here. Technically speaking, Minecraft PE wasn't the first remake of Minecraft, because in late 2009, during a game jam where developers had to make a game in 4 kilobytes or less, Minecraft creator MelanyMiku made this, Minecraft 4K, a very, very stripped down, basic version of Minecraft made in 4 kilobytes or less. Huh. There were also these Minecraft ports for smart TV devices, stuff like Fire TV Edition and Apple TV Edition. These are weird. Minecraft Pocket Edition, the mobile-centric versions of Minecraft made with mobile devices in mind, got ports to these smart TV devices with controller support. This wasn't the 4J Studios port, this wasn't the Java Edition ported over, this was the mobile version. I understand these devices were super duper low-end power-wise, but there's something undeniably cheap feeling but the fact that this port was made with the worst version of the game as a backbone. There was also Minecraft Pi Edition, made for the Raspberry Pi series of computers. For those unaware, Raspberry Pis are these tiny computers often used for hobbyist projects in the computer and tech space. Well, for a time, Mojang had been working on a version made for the device. The Raspberry Pi version of Minecraft was heavily based on Pocket Edition, and had very, very limited functionality. This is because it's based on a very, very old version of Pocket Edition. These days, Pi Edition is included in copies of the default Raspberry Pi OS, and is intended to be used as an educational tool for amateur programming. Speaking of Pocket Edition, at one point there was a version of Minecraft PE made specifically for a VR device. This is known as the Gear VR Edition. For those not aware, the Gear VR was a joint venture between Samsung and Oculus. The idea was to create a budget VR headset that would utilize a Samsung Galaxy smartphone as the display. The device didn't sell that well, but perhaps in an effort to promote the Gear VR as a serious platform for VR, Mojang has made a version of Minecraft for Gear VR. It was a bit limited, however. The port didn't really run very well, and in an effort to curb motion sickness, the game would start in a virtualized living room and then bump you into the game. There were no motion controls available, which was a letdown, and allegedly it was very easy to get motion sick. And as someone who's experienced a lot of motion sickness in Vivecraft, a VR mod for Java Edition, oh my god, I totally believe that. And then most recently, there's Minecraft Classic. This is a web-based port of one of the oldest alpha builds of Minecraft, designed to run in a web browser. This was released to commemorate the 10-year anniversary of the game, and honestly, it's a really cool novelty if you're interested. In May 2017, shortly after the launch of the Nintendo Switch, there was a new 4J Studios port of Minecraft for Nintendo Switch. This was a really awesome port. Like, remember when I was talking about the PS Vita version of Minecraft, and how despite the drawbacks, it was fun to have a portable version of the big boy console version of Minecraft? Well, this is like that, but even cooler. The game runs way better than the Vita port. The game initially only supported 720p resolutions, but eventually was updated to support 1080p, and the game would have a 60 FPS frame rate while docked, and 30 FPS while in handheld mode, alongside having larger worlds of the Xbox One and PS4 ports. The biggest drawback was a lower render distance of only 11 chunks while docked, but 7 in handheld. But oh my goodness, this was so worthwhile. This was a lovely port of the 4J Studios version. The game also supported world transfers from Minecraft Wii U Edition, which is obviously rad as hell, while also still containing the Mario mashup pack from the Wii U version. This is a lovely port. Same could be said for all of 4J Studios ports. By this point, there were 3 main versions of the game. The Java version for PC, Mac, and Linux, the 4J Studios version for consoles, and the Pocket Edition for mobile and low-end devices, and I guess Windows 10. There was an emerging problem with this, however. With so many versions of Minecraft out in the wild, playing with friends was a total nightmare. If you owned Minecraft Wii U, and your friends owned Minecraft PS4 or Xbox 360 or Java Edition or whatever, y'all can't play together. Only there was a way to be able to play with all your friends together, huh? Guess we have to talk about Bedrock Edition now. Well, on September 20th, 2017, a new update for Minecraft on current consoles and mobile was released. The Better Together update. The update was intended to address the growing problem of annoyingly being unable to play with friends on other platforms. The idea for this was simple. Establish a new version of Minecraft that would mean all players could play together regardless of platform. The update then proceeded to release for mobile, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Windows 10. No PS4 version out of the gate. That took another 2 years to happen. Sony has always been really annoying regarding crossplay support in games, and for a while was trying to make it not work on their platforms. But eventually, it seems Sony finally came around, with one mild concession we'll discuss later. But anyways, now there's a brand new version of Minecraft, with its major selling point being crossplay and ease of multiplayer. Hell, they didn't even keep the edition subtitles, calling this one just plain old Minecraft officially. The classic Java PC edition of the game would later be renamed to Minecraft Java Edition. However, this new version was a brand new version altogether of the game, with brand new features to help address other common issues regarding Java Edition and other platforms. Non-Java editions would always lag behind in the recency of updates. Bedrock Edition would fix this and ensure that all of Minecraft stays consistently updated at all times. The latest update for Bedrock would match the latest update for Java. Additionally, given the age of Minecraft Java, and how by this point Minecraft's programming was just a pile of spaghetti code duct taped together, it's very fair to say that this version would be easier to develop for. This would also mean the game would feature better performance. And for platforms like mobile and PC, this could also mean easy drag and drop support for stuff like texture packs, worlds, and a built-in modding API. So if all of this is so good, then why is Java Edition even still maintained and considered the best way to play amongst core Minecraft fans? It's cause this version sucks. Now, I'm not in any way trying to say that Bedrock is entirely unplayable and horrible, and that anyone who prefers playing on it is a chump. There are genuine great upsides to playing this version of the game. If you prefer playing on Minecraft Bedrock, that's great, but holy cow, there is so much baggage to cover with Bedrock. First of all, for this being the premier standard version of Minecraft, meant to in some way, shape, or form replace Minecraft Java Edition, there is a shockingly large amount of dissonance between Minecraft Bedrock and Java. Some of it is pretty minor, like a different, worse UI system in Bedrock, but some of it is quite annoying and actually a bit of a big deal. A good example, Minecraft Redstone. Computer science of the Minecraft world. Redstone's functionality in this version is borked completely due to certain bugs Redstone builders relied on for making their creations being patched out. Namely, there's this concept in the world of Minecraft Redstone called quasi-connectivity, basically the idea being that Redstone objects can be activated by anything in the space above them, regardless of what's actually in that space. If you don't understand Redstone at all, basically just know it makes simple stuff like this design for a door I built in Java following a tutorial in 2016 not work at all in Bedrock. But then there's entire gameplay features not being here. The Minecraft combat system has been a controversial discussion subject for years and years, ever since the 2016 Minecraft combat update. They created an entirely new system from scratch on how combat works, utilizing a cooldown system and shields, and being able to use your offhand in general. This is a very controversial update, but regardless of how you may feel regarding this change, it did create new ways of going about combat in Minecraft, while also benefiting those like myself who didn't care much for PvP, with stuff like using your offhand or using shields. Well, this was completely neutered in the Bedrock Edition. There is no longer a cooldown for attacks, effectively rendering shields almost completely pointless. And they've also limited your ability to use your offhand in Bedrock. In Java Edition, you can use almost any item in your offhand, which can create very interesting strategies on how you can go about making simple tasks more efficient, using your offhand for maybe torches in the mines or blocks while building a house. In Bedrock, there's far less items that can be put into your offhand. You're limited to only being able to use items like shields, arrows, totems, and fireworks. That's kind of it, and that's really lame. Other strange changes include stuff like how the Wither is made far more difficult, but the Ender Dragon is almost a joke. Also, let's go back to that claim about performance improvements. For those unaware, Java Edition notoriously has plenty of performance issues. Even on a pretty beefy PC, chances are you'll want to install some third-party performance optimizing mods for the game, like myself and others tend to, just due to how poor the game runs without them. My laptop has an RTX 4080 and a 13th generation Core i9. For those who aren't familiar with PC specs, just know that means pretty damn powerful. And yet, without mods like Sodium or Optifine, my game's performance is absolute dick. My point being, this was an area that Bedrock truly had the opportunity to do better than Java in, but in reality, they only partially pulled through. Bedrock does indeed feature higher frame rates and larger render distance, which is obviously great, but that doesn't mean that it performs well overall. Bedrock overall is a stuttery, buggy mess. It feels like you're on a server with poor connection to the internet. There is a plus in that, unlike Java Edition, there's an actual dedicated lighting engine to Bedrock Edition, known as Render Dragon, but that bugs out frequently too. There's also other weird stuff, like how there's built-in online minigame servers to play on, but if you're on console, you can't connect to servers via an IP address officially. Mob behavior is adjusted and is slightly different. The game tends to weirdly spawn more mobs to make the game more difficult, without much nuance to it. The whole port is so strangely built and maintained. Regarding each platform, they're very similar to one another, with some features omitted with different performance for each. The Windows port, for example, obviously runs well, despite some hiccups I discussed earlier. In fact, the Windows version has exclusive ray tracing support in collaboration with Nvidia. I have no idea why ray tracing is exclusive to the Windows version. Both the current gen Xboxes and the PlayStation 5 have ray tracing support, just fine. So why don't they have it? It was even a tech demo shown alongside the Series X. Well, that's probably because there's no native PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series port for Minecraft yet. Playing Minecraft on your current gen Xbox or PlayStation 5 is just playing the versions made for Xbox One or PS4 on your new console via backwards compatibility. Though, to be fair, as of writing this video, they are beta testing native ports for these consoles. Anyways, as for the performance of these ports, the Xbox port runs the best in regards to consoles. But I mean, that makes sense given that the Xbox is made by Microsoft, the company that owns Minecraft. Aside from general performance issues I discussed earlier, this game runs totally fine. The PlayStation 4 port is fine too. Despite the PS4 being a more powerful system than the base Xbox One, PlayStation 4 runs worse in regards to performance, and that's even with me running this on my PlayStation 5. But it's totally fine. That just means it has a few more hiccups along the way. The mobile version runs very well and feels extremely natural. I played this both on my iPhone 15 Pro Max and my 10th gen iPad, and they both ran very well. Some small hiccups, but at the end of the day, not a big deal. This is a great port. And then there's the Switch port. Good God. Listen, I understand the Switch isn't a very powerful system all around, with it matching the power of a PlayStation 3 from 2006. But with that being said, who fucking approved this? This runs terribly. Even the menus managed to be buggy and glitchy. Signing into my Microsoft account took ages to pull off. Something I was able to do within seconds on mobile or even on PlayStation 4. It was barely even functional. I genuinely ended up spending 20 minutes straight just trying to sign into my Microsoft account. Then upon getting into the game, it runs terribly. On the recommended default settings for the game consistently fluctuates in frame rate, and it can't remain steady. Upon lowering the settings to the absolute bare minimum, it still runs like piss. I'll admit I was initially testing on very large Minecraft worlds I had converted over from Java, But then trying some smaller worlds built from the ground up within Bedrock and even built with a Nintendo Switch port, it still ran bad. I loaded into a brand new world, and even in a brand new world with the lowest settings applied, it still ran bad. My 2015 iPhone 6s can run Minecraft better than this. Who looked at this and said that this was okay? How do people tolerate this? That's not me trying to be an asshole about this port. I'm genuinely wondering, how do people tolerate this? This port sells very, very well on Switch, and it's consistently a bestseller. How is this tolerated? $30 for this port is a joke. The original 4J Studios port of this game ran better than this. What's even more frustrating is that I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, because people within the general game community consistently refer to this as a solid port of the game. Did we play the same port? This port comes with a free Mario themed mashup pack, just like the previous Nintendo ports did, but the skins can't be used at all while playing crossplay, so like, what's the point? And I'm sorry to harp on this one port of the game for so long, but I can't stress enough just how badly this port runs. Game crashes, rendering issues, and things of the sort are very common. This is one of the worst optimized Switch ports I've played in a long time. At least stuff like Fortnite on Nintendo Switch functions just fine, despite the needed compromises. I have so many other issues with this version of Bedrock, but in the interest of time, let's move on. Minecraft Bedrock Edition is a fundamentally flawed version of Minecraft. At the end of the day, Minecraft is Minecraft. And I love Minecraft. It's my favorite game of all time. Minecraft Bedrock isn't unplayably terrible by any means. I mean, maybe that's true about the Switch port, but generally speaking, this is a totally serviceable version of the game. But it's just quite simply not as good as the Java edition, or the 4J Studios versions. And I think I know why that is. Minecraft Bedrock Edition isn't a brand new version of Minecraft built from the ground up with crossplay and being ported to several systems in mind. No. Minecraft Bedrock Edition is simply just a reworked version of Minecraft Pocket Edition. Remember Minecraft PE? The gimped version of Minecraft for mobile devices? Yeah, now it's been promoted to working as the definitive main version of the game. And because they had to develop the game with mobile in mind and simply have the other versions be upported, several things are gimped, neutered, and removed for the sake of working well on mobile. Stuff like the 1.9 combat system isn't in Bedrock Edition because it'd be weird to work with on mobile, using torches in your offhand and mining with your main. Or stuff like that regarding your offhand isn't featured in Bedrock because it'd be annoying to deal with on mobile. Mob behavior is tweaked and adjusted to compensate for players on mobile. The entire game at its core is forced to lag behind just to make sure players on mobile are at an even playing field as everyone else. And unfortunately, it's just kinda for the worse. It knocks down everyone else's experiences down a peg just for the sake of mobile, and it's not really a fair trade-off. And nowhere else can the mobilification of Minecraft Bedrock be seen quite as clearly as with the dreaded Minecraft Marketplace. The Marketplace is a place where you can buy extra content for Minecraft, stuff like skin packs, maps, texture packs, mashup packs, and recently, add-ons akin to mods on Java. Alright, I have a lot of issues with the Marketplace, but let's play a little devil's advocate in favor of this system for a moment. I feel like this Marketplace had good intentions behind it upon being initially introduced. I don't feel like this was created as a mean to make people pay for mods and worlds and stuff, given you can still get add-ons, texture packs, maps, and skins for free on PC and mobile. It felt more like they were trying to create a system where players on other platforms could access custom skins and maps, while also creating a relatively safe environment for kids to find additions to their Minecraft experience. And hell, I honestly feel like they've done some cool things with this. For example, the character creator system is really cool, giving a means for people to make custom Minecraft skins to represent themselves in a way that works in a console environment. They recently added add-ons to the Marketplace as what's essentially Bedrock's version of modding. And as a lifelong Java player, oh my god, I am so jealous of these features and wish they were in Java. Iconic Java mods like Tinker's Construct have been officially placed on the Marketplace, and only one person needs to own a mod in order to experience it together with friends in a world. It sucks that it's paid, of course, but hey, at least it's monetarily supporting the developers. I do not inherently mind a Minecraft Marketplace. I just dislike what the Minecraft Marketplace is. So, issue number one, in-game currency. In order to buy anything on the Marketplace, you need to buy mine coins. Or if you're on PS4, mine tokens. This is another one of those weird side effects of the Sony crossplay spat. Unlike Minecoins, tokens can't be converted between versions. Anyways, purchases on the marketplace are made through Minecoins. This is textbook manipulative mobile game practices. Trick buyers into spending more money by having to convert your real money into fake money. Minecraft isn't by any means the only game that does this. Just off the top of my head, Fortnite and Genshin Impact do that. That doesn't mean I like it. I don't really like Genshin at all, but Fortnite is a game I actually like. And I still don't like the V-Bucks system at all. Minecoins don't get any sort of pass for me. Items on the shop will let you buy them with a straight up actual price tag attached, rather than a Minecoin price tag. But it still forces you to buy the Minecoins and leave you with a small, insignificant amount left over. I know Minecoins are just a symptom of a wider, greater trend in gaming, but that doesn't mean I like it at all. Issue number 2. The marketplace is barely moderated at all. All over the marketplace, you can find content that is stolen from other creators or content infringing on copyright. Examples being that the Faithful Texture Pack, one of the most popular resource packs, was stolen and put on the marketplace without a second thought. And as far as I can tell, it's been removed, but this sort of thing happens so often. The iconic Aether Minecraft mod was shoved onto the Minecraft marketplace, with the creator of the mod stating that it was placed there without permission. The irony of this being that the mod creator now literally works for Mojang. And then there's the literal copyright infringement. Creators releasing skin packs based on IPs without permission from the copyright holders under slightly legally distinct names. Like, I found several skin packs clearly based upon Hazbin Hotel and the Amazing Digital Circus. None of these were officially licensed at all. They all feature legally distinct names. This one didn't even change Charlie's name, given that her full first name is Charlotte. This one didn't even change anyone's names. This sort of thing is a very common occurrence on the marketplace. Hell, some of these packs feature stolen Minecraft skins. There's no quality control, and Microsoft genuinely does not check for whether or not these feature any sort of content that infringes on copyright, and that's so stupid. What makes this even more strange is that there are several officially licensed items on the Minecraft marketplace, as either official Minecraft collaborations or just being licensed by the copyright holders. Wouldn't the rampant copyright infringement make copyright holders hesitant to license their content to the marketplace? I guess not. Here's another thing that's stupid. There is no purchase confirmation screen when spending Minecoins. There's no screen after hitting purchase where it'll ask you if you're sure you want to purchase the item in question, like most mobile games. It is entirely possible you will accidentally make a purchase on the Minecraft marketplace and buy something you didn't want to. And Minecoins are non-refundable, so you're totally screwed. It's no wonder the marketplace gets so much hate. Even if it's doing some not terrible things, it's hard to not view it as corporate and scummy. This feels like borderline predatory behavior. Well, I think that covers just about everything I have to say about Minecraft Bedrock. What a waste. I think the concept of an all-in-one Minecraft experience is a wonderful idea, but the execution chosen to follow through on it is a waste of potential. Instead of building something great and new from the ground up, they just updated Pocket Edition into something tolerable. Again, it's not like it's the absolute worst thing ever. Minecraft is Minecraft, and I don't doubt that millions of people love playing Bedrock every day. I just really wish they would strive to do better than fine with this version. It's not hard to feel like Bedrock is holding back all of Minecraft, especially with the more aimless approach to Minecraft updates as of late and the limitations of them. While I know and understand the Minecraft update issue and Bedrock issue are completely separate, I can't help but feel like they're at least a tiny bit related. I don't know, Minecraft is a very weird game to experience and talk about at the moment, but at the end of the day, this is a fine enough way to experience my favorite game of all time. I just think Java does it better. Though, please let me know in the comments what you think about Bedrock. I'm really interested to see what other people have to say about this. Anyways, we have a couple more versions of Minecraft to go over today, so let's get a move on and talk about what is possibly the strangest version of Minecraft. How did this happen? How is this a game that released? How is it that I have this in my hands? How is it that I put this in my 3DS capture card and played it? What is this? This is Minecraft for new Nintendo 3DS. This was announced and released on September 13th, 2017. Think about that. The Nintendo Switch was already out by now. The Better Together update was already announced. And here comes a brand new independent version of the game that has nothing to do with Bedrock or Java. Some of the code base was based upon the Bedrock Edition, but with everything said and done, this was essentially a version made from scratch. This port was developed not by 4J Studios or Mojang themselves, but by a newcomer studio, Other Ocean Interactive. They mostly seem to do mobile games and ports, having done work on The Simpsons Tapped Out, the PS4 reissue of Medieval, and some DS ports of Spider-Man games. What a weird-ass studio choice. They've worked on shockingly little so far, and to make matters stranger, this is a really solid port for what it is. There are several limitations to this version, namely in the controls department. The controls are really weird in that it forces you to use this tiny sensitive C-stick for camera movements. There's also stuff like a mob cap in the game, limiting the amount of mobs in the world to like 24 animals, 16 squid, 16 villagers. But interestingly enough, the world sizes could be huge. The maximum world size was 2016 by 2016 blocks. Compare this to the Wii U port with a measly 864 blocks, and it becomes clear just how impressive this port was. This port genuinely feels really nice to play. It's not terribly fully featured. There are several features missing, and it only got a single year or so of updates. Stuff like your offhand wasn't added functionality, and fireworks rockets didn't even get added to the game. Blocks like the stone cutter were only in the creative menu as decorative. But there was clearly loads of effort put into this release. Unlike the pathetic Wii U release, the 3DS release actually utilizes the touchscreen for inventory management, and it's really lovely. There's also a minimap and coordinates on the bottom screen, which makes for genuinely amazing usage of the two screens. This also featured local wireless multiplayer between two systems. This is a really awesome and welcome inclusion. Weirdly though, support for 3D was never added, even in an update, which is pretty strange omission for a 3DS game. It's not like the 3D was used very often anyway, so it's not a huge deal, but it's still very, very odd. The 3DS version also came bundled with several skin packs and texture packs, and even one mashup pack, the Mario mashup pack from the Wii U and Switch releases. I am massively impressed with this port. Despite being significantly weaker in hardware, it managed to prove to be the better Minecraft port. How sad is it that the new 3DS has a better running version of Minecraft than the Switch? It even features larger world sizes than the Wii U. So it's all the more baffling that this release ever happened. The 3DS was on life support by this time. People were moving on to the Switch, and yet this game was released and even got a special edition new 2DS XL in Japan, all for a game that, according to VG charts, only sold about 300,000 units. What a strange ass port. It's not even bad, it's actually pretty decent. Nice job, Other Ocean. Well, this is an oddball release as well. Minecraft Education. This was an effort by Microsoft and Mojang to have Minecraft be repurposed and used in a classroom setting, featuring items and blocks and lesson plans to help teach students about educational subjects. This project actually started life as Minecraft EDU, basically a version of Minecraft Java Edition, but retooled by a developer known as Teacher Gaming to help make Minecraft a tool for teachers to help teach students. Eventually, Mojang took over the project and made it based upon the Bedrock Edition. Minecraft Education is an odd bugger of a game, as it's mostly just regular Bedrock Minecraft at its core, with some added blocks based upon the periodic table. However, what makes this version special is the world maps used, called lesson plans, in the game, to have teachers use a more interesting medium for kids to learn in. I tried one that was used to help teach kids about chemistry, and I was blown away by how well made and creative this was. Blocks like the element constructor being able to be used so students can learn about the right amount of protons, neutrons, and electrons are needed to make elements and being able to put them to use within the actual game of Minecraft. And what was even cooler was that they made this other block called the material reducer, which lets you take Minecraft blocks and reduce them to their real world elements. For example, an oak wood log contains 49 parts carbon, 6 parts hydrogen, 4 parts oxygen, and 1 part nitrogen. What's even cooler about this is that if you place a block that doesn't exist in the real world, they actually made up their own chemical compounds for them, including unknown elements that haven't been discovered in the real world yet. This is such an adorable touch that they didn't really need to add, but went a long way. But this sort of approach was used in several different subjects, from history to English to even teaching kids coding. Listen, this is a version that objectively does not matter to me or most people I know. We are not in the slightest the target demographic. But for what this is, I cannot help but applaud Mojang and Microsoft for their approach to education. This seems like a really solid option for educators to help teach students in a way that'll be interesting to a child. Interestingly enough though, despite this being based on the Bedrock Edition, Education Edition has a Mac port, but the Bedrock Edition doesn't have a Mac port. Huh, strange. At the end of the day, whatever. Good on you guys, Mojang. We have one remaining version to discuss today. This is by far the strangest version of Minecraft ever. We made it to the end, and I got a doozy for y'all. Fair warning up ahead, I don't 100% understand Minecraft China Edition at all. I did my best to try and learn and understand, but I cannot in any way claim I fully grasp the concept of Minecraft China Edition. This is an extremely expansive version of Minecraft, localized for Chinese audiences. China has some very specific laws and regulations regarding what media can be brought over to China and how they can be brought over, especially in regards to video games. So if Microsoft was going to release a version of Minecraft in China, it was going to end up drastically different. This is not really what I'd call a port of Minecraft. I mean, it is a port of Minecraft, Java, and Bedrock, but that's not the full story. This is an entirely localized version of the game with loads of new content added in. There's two separate versions of Minecraft China Edition, one for PC and one for mobile. The mobile version of Minecraft China is heavily mobilized, with it being a free-to-play version of Minecraft with a heavy emphasis on microtransactions, featuring several different in-game currencies. The game does have a normal vanilla Minecraft mode, but additionally contains several other game modes and ways to play, on top of active events going on, in addition to an official mod store. I'm sorry if that's not a great explanation, I'm kind of struggling to understand all of this myself. The PC-based version of Minecraft China Edition takes things a step further. Built-in servers are a key feature of this game. At one point, there was apparently even a version of Hypixel built for Minecraft China. This is a very, very strange release. The game wasn't really handled much by Mojang or Microsoft as far as I could tell. The main big developer involved here was NetEase. They worked on several mobile games released both in China and here in the West. I would have loved to download and try Minecraft China Edition for myself, but that was certainly not possible. In order to play Minecraft China Edition, you need a Chinese citizenship ID to provide. Being in America, there's just no way I'm getting my hands on means of playing this strange and interesting version of Minecraft, which is really a shame. I'd love to explore it and tell you all more about this strange game. But for now, I sadly gotta leave my coverage of Minecraft China Edition here. It's a strange and fascinating version of Minecraft that has loads of content built in for free and with microtransactions. It seems to make for a solid live service game for whatever that's worth. And so, we've done it. Every single version of Minecraft covered. So, what have we learned here today? The 4J Studios ports of the games were and are excellent. Bedrock Edition is kinda stinky, but it's doing some good things. The Nintendo Switch version of Bedrock is an absolute joke, and Minecraft China Edition is insanely wild, but I don't have the means to properly cover it, so alas, I'll shut my mouth. At the end of the day though, Minecraft is Minecraft. It's hard to deny the impact Minecraft has had on popular culture worldwide, and the ease of availability played a huge role in that. Millions of people all over the world have grown to love Minecraft on all sorts of platforms, and I view that as a win for everybody in the Minecraft fandom. Thank you all so much for making it to the end of this massive video. I've been working on this video for a year and a half straight, and I'm so excited to finally have it out. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to see more similar content to this. I'm a small channel trying to grow, so any sort of engagement really helps out a ton. If you think I missed something, or just want to contribute to the discussion about these games, leave a comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching, hope you all have a wonderful day, and hopefully, I'll even see you next time. Bye bye!